to Unsigned 518. I am here with Zeffler. How's it going?
It's going good. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah. You're welcome. And I guess what we'll do is just start to my right and just introduce yourself, say your name and what you do in the band.
Absolutely. My name is Zach Leffler. I play guitar and sing in the band and write most of the songs.
John Campana, bass guitar, occasionally scream in the mic once in a while.
Yeah. My name's Matt. They picked me up on the way here. I was going through Wilton there, hitchhiking. And
yeah, they said that. They had picked up a strange man.
Mm-hmm. He had the look and the vibe, and we were like,
some dude.
Get in.
So anyway, what we'll do, I guess, is just, we talked a little bit before we recorded, and I want you to be able to tell the story of the band how you want to. So I'm literally just going to kind of throw it over to you, and Zach, if you want to take the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I've been playing music at least since high school, and in and out of bands. Played a lot of cover bands and stuff originally and stuff like that, and then eventually just I always enjoyed songwriting and wanted to get into it myself and started writing some songs, and then as time went on started jamming them with some of my friends from other bands inside and out, and eventually got this lineup together with a crew of guys that dug the music as well.
And so how far back, like when are we talking, like year-wise, I guess, when the band formed?
So I started working on the songs that are in this project around 2014, 2015, and then these guys, this lineup here, probably about 2018. We got together and did like a run of shows for about a year and a half, and then everything kind of slowed down for a few years there, and
right.
About a year and a half ago, we a benefit came up, and we got asked to play, and then we kind of rekindled it. We got back together and played that, and then I'd been sitting on a bunch of songs that I'd written in the meantime, and we decided just to make a thing of it again.
So it was post-COVID, or you started pre-COVID, then it took like a hiatus. It's funny because there's that like divide when COVID hit. Like there's some people where it like really shook up like the musical foundation, and then there's some people that it like made them like focus on nothing but music, you know what I mean? Whereas like there's also some bands that literally like came just out of nowhere out of COVID.
Yeah.
So like I like the fact that it was rocky. I don't like that it was rocky, but you know what I mean? I like the fact that you bounced back.
Yeah, it was like
pause.
Yeah, it was like a dichotomy of sorts.
Right.
Like we were still working all of it in the background, but then it was kind of spontaneously came back together.
Yeah,
which
is
cool.
amazing. Because a lot of times, it's, or at least for me personally, you get into a rhythm of something, and it's hard to break that rhythm. So like if you're in the rhythm of not playing, and then you get, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's commendable, I guess.
Especially because we were still more or less in our infancy at that time. Really, I mean,
Right.
I'd done one record pretty much, and then we'd done just literally a handful of shows.
It was hard to stay in playing shape,
Right.
I guess you could say, because we were missing it.
Yeah, and like same like during like the beginning of COVID, like I didn't really play like at all. You know what I mean? Like it was like, oh fuck, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Like,
I tried doing like the live stream show thing, and I'm like, this sucks.
I did that like once or twice where I'm like, I'll pick a cover song and like post it, and I was like, this just makes me fucking sad.
Yeah,
you know?
same here.
Like, get me out of here. Like, but and then post COVID, it was that itch needed to be scratched, which again is with a lot of people. They're like, I thought I was never going to be able to do this again.
Yeah. It's brutal.
So it was brutal. Yeah. So you said you had albums and you'd started songs from like 2014. How much do you actually have out there currently?
So we did. There was one full-length album and called Homeward Bound that was released in 2017, and we played on the songs a lot about that. We didn't have the live lineup wasn't fully live. I guess would probably be more of a solo thing at that time when it was recorded. So we've definitely like developed those songs more since it came out, but kind of use that as the basis of it. And then just a few other demos out besides that in the meantime. But other than that, those are the only real official release.
And is there something that you're like, when you came back, are you obviously a live show is probably a priority, I would think. Like with a local band, you can't, you have to build an audience back up. But like, when did you start? Or do you have stuff in the works for like new releases?
Yeah, we're working. We have essentially a full album written, and we've started tracking about half of it. The songs and the other ones we're still just kind of fleshing out, getting them exactly how we want it. Because like as we try stuff live, and then playing it in the room with each other, you still make little fine tweaks here and there. And we don't really have a deadline for it, but we're definitely working on a full length release that will eventually, potentially next year, would
nice. And you are missing a member.
Yes,
today, right? You do have a drummer. Well, I mean,
unfortunately, our drummer was feeling a little under the weather.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, Bobby Light is also a member of a few other local groups like Adequate Phil and the other ones. Seasoned
nice.
guy.
Yeah.
And Matt, you
Yes.
you're in a band or two, or a project or two, certainly.
I got a couple projects. Yeah. I'm in the Sugarhold. I play bass in that, and I play guitar in another band called Big Maybe, which is Andrew, the drummer of our band here, Zeffler, and myself and our friend Tom from work.
We all share.
Yeah. We share. I like drummers. So.
And you did do stuff with Adequate Phil, right?
I did. Yeah. I was the Adequate fill-in for the summer. Phil moved to Indiana, so I came in, jammed out with them. I'm still like on retainer for them if they need me.
Yeah, I just talked to Rooney on the show last week on
That's awesome.
Colin. That's
Rooney's
how
a good dude.
that's how I knew that you were no longer the Adequate fill-in.
Yes.
God damn, this fucking microphone stand. I keep leaning on it and just dropping down. The one time that I decide to film my fucking interviews when I'm like over here like a jackass, can't figure out my shit.
Hey, let the people know what you do, man.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, oh yeah, Andy's a jackass. But we had a false start too because I forgot to. I took all the time to set the camera up and everything and forgot to hit record. So.
There's only one way to figure it all out.
Yeah,
exactly.
Trial and error. So you're back after COVID. You're working on new stuff. Like, how's the gigging going? Are you finding
Decent. I mean, we don't want to overdo it either, but we've balanced it out. I mean, we've played. I mean, I'd say maybe once, like every 2 months or so, we're getting out and doing something. We've been.
And I guess if we should address the sad reality of like shit's closing, man.
Quickly.
Like so quick. It's like, and if it wasn't hard enough for bands to begin with and like venues, but like I don't understand how no one wants to go to shows anymore.
Don't get it. It's definitely changed for sure.
It's definitely changed, and it's like, and it happened quick, like it seems, and it's super sad. So we need to get all.
We're gonna keep grinding it out.
Yeah, hit the fucking streets and get all guerrilla on it. I'm gonna, start a campaign that says like to literally handcuff your friend and bring them to a show.
Well, that's why it's important. Like the things like this, like you do. There's all the stuff you guys like you do. I mean, it's important.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying.
Sure.
And like I do, it's great because I can do it all from here for the most part, and like, especially like now with like Metroland, like when it started up, like I was basically like I'm not a journalist, and I'm not a photographer, like I don't have like those skills, and I was like, but I can podcast like a motherfucker, like you know what I mean, like I can like amass up. I want my vision is to get more people doing it because it's really easy to do, and like it does bolster the scene because if you have a network of people talking about this scene, people want to be a part of it, and
like a common ground, like a common place where everybody's coming through or talking about. It just forges those connections, kind of.
Yeah, and like especially here, we have such a multi-genre scene.
Yeah,
like it's not like the metal scene and the punk scene and the hip hop scene and the jazz scene. Like it does kind of all meld a little more than it does in a lot of other places.
which is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we just gotta get creative with it, guys. You
Just-
know.
Yeah, it's like part of it. Like almost everybody, like he kind of becomes a jack of all trades. Like, working with sound and the video
Right.
and the writing and
Yeah.
all aspects of it. Yeah,
Like,
kinda-
like I hate, like right now I hate the fact that there's a camera at my fucking face. I'm like trying not to.
You said this was a podcast.
I'm like trying not to look over at it. I'm like, oh my god, both of my chins are gonna be on full fucking display.
Thank God there's no video on Spotify, right?
And I don't know, like, if it's me or not, but it just seems harder, as with the originals. This is the only band of originals that I've played in.
Right.
So it just seems harder to even get people to come out and see it. A lot of folks would rather maybe hear classic rock bands all the time, or, so when you're putting out originals, it's very hard to get it out there.
For sure.
And push it around.
And like
you're
that's
going
even
for it.
like another conversation about like cover songs, like because I'm someone that believes like cover songs have their place
yeah.
Right.
as like a way to get like a crowd engaged, but like
Totally.
it's so I wish it was like
It's
we have to like my band sneaks like 6 or 7 covers in a set.
yeah.
Yeah, we do like three
Yeah.
or four sometimes.
Yeah, it's like a delicate balancing act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't have an issue with it because I actually really enjoy
Yeah.
being like,
Yeah.
let's do a cover of this song, and if everybody agrees to it, and I like doing cover, and we do them well, but we kind of do them our style.
We don't
and-
sound anything like the cover
Right.
should.
Right.
We do it. I call it. We do it the Zeffler way.
It's if it fits like a.
Yeah, it's
it-
cool.
Sometimes it's a fit. Sometimes if you find the right song that's like fun for you guys to, for fun for the band to play.
It'll be
like,
familiar
sounds good,
enough,
and
Differently tuned. It really sounds cool like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, and it gets people engaged, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, like doing just full original sets, like it's hard until you get to that level, and like I wish it wasn't that way, but like you do have to cater to
it's
not the lowest common denominator, certainly, because you don't want to like sacrifice your art for whatever, but like you do kind of have to be like, all right,
I look at it like broader sometimes too, like in the sense that establishing that audience, right? Like even like larger established bands, there's still like a lot of people that might not necessarily like that sound. So it's like finding the people that want to hear your sound.
right.
Like even an album that goes platinum, sells 1 million copies in a country of 300 something million people. Like still maybe only one in that of 300 people like want out to get that. And that's like the pinnacle,
That's a good point. I hadn't even thought of it that way.
And then you can be in a cover band. I mean, I'm in another cover band also, and our catalog is huge, and you
Right.
could play all of it, and somebody's going to come up and tell you.
We used to, because before we became a 5-piece, we used to be a duo and then a trio that played covers. And I actually got rid of them, but up on top of that shelf, we had a stack that was probably 5 or 6 inches tall of cover songs that we'd played.
Wow.
And like we would put them in a binder when we'd go out and play and open up the binder. But I mean,
That's
we were
it.
like at some point we have like 370
That's what I mean. That's what
something
we're
songs
up to. Like
that we can
Beatles
put
and
that
all
we've
this other
played
stuff.
and can play again.
Wow.
Like so we had a lot of fucking cover songs, man.
It's amassed
It
a
builds
lot
the
of them.
chops though,
Yeah, and that's the other thing too is like people denigrate it, but like
It really helps
nobody
your playing for any change your tone for certain things, etc. And it's good for your playing for sure.
yeah, technique. Like
Yeah.
nobody learned music in a vacuum.
It's true.
Like you learn this technique and that technique, and the way you put it together is what makes it your own.
That osmosis.
Yeah, but you have to listen to other shit before you can get that. But speaking of some stuff, I know you brought your guitars, and we're gonna listen to a studio track. Which one do you want to do?
We'll play a song. Or let's play the song called "Blue Sky Morning" off of the Homeward Bound album.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
Nice.
Anything you want to say about the tune before we roll it?
How'd you
let's
write
see.
it?
I think
Let's
it's in
let
the
it speak for
it's in the
itself.
title.
All
Yeah.
right.
It's
Fucking A.
about
It was one
a
of those songs that
morning
came together
with a blue
quickly,
sky.
Sweet. Well, let's listen to
was
Blue
nice.
Sky Morning, Zeffler, and then we'll be right back.
find a reason someday? Will I find somewhere to go? Will I feel this empty feeling? Will I fight it all alone? Open up your eyes to a world so bright I could find you tonight. Everything that you might open up your mind, fall into this life. Let yourself be free. Come and dream with me. Underneath the blue sky morning, seemingly nowhere to turn. Desert sand and icy breezes, comfort seems far unknown. Much like a raging fire, there's warmth within its core. Open up your eyes to a world so bright I could find you tonight. Everything that you might open up your mind, fall into this light. Let yourself be free. Come and dream with me. Open up your eyes to a world so bright I could find you tonight. Everything that you might open up your mind, fall into this light. Let yourself be free. Come and dream with me.
All right, that was Blue Sky Morning, right? I got that right? Blue
Absolutely,
Sky
yeah.
Morning? And Zeffler.
We have a lot of fun playing that one live.
So I guess we talked a little bit about the formation of the band, going into the songwriting and hiatus. I guess going forward, what do you have in store for us?
I guess well, we are working on what I want to be a full length record. I mean, I'm probably gonna settle on 10 songs. We have a few more than that. So there's about
Double record?
Yeah, that or maybe we'll save some for a third one down the road. I don't know. We'll see,
Yeah, fair enough.
but we want to continually writing and recording like that, and then from the show aspect, I mean, just try to find whatever really just open it up for people would be cool too, just to get in front of new audiences and whatever's out there, just to share it with new people and what we do live and so forth, and yeah.
Maybe a show at the Town Tavern here and there too.
That would be cool. Sometimes we have to throw together a hometown bar show, and
I mean, in my opinion, the way Zach writes stuff, I just think that something's gonna click sometime. That's gonna break.
Right.
I mean, some of it is so cool, so that's why I ended up, hooking up with these guys, because there's no age barrier, and everything's just a blast. So.
These guys help bring a lot of it to life. I mean, I think a lot of stuff I write's more that it's hard to put it. I mean, I call it almost like heartland rock or like cowpunk or alt country, however we want to frame it. But it's still like guitar based, rock and roll basically. But these guys are pretty creative too. I mean, he'll add in a lot of bass lines and stuff they'll color it in. And then Matt, he's a creative, guy he can bring things in all different directions and add a lot of color that makes stuff more interesting and some harmonies and so forth. So it's
I like making harmonies in your songs. It's fun.
And I thought I don't know if you even told them how this came up, but you had actually reached out to be on Unsigned518, which is the show where it's just like any bands from U.S. and Canada, and it's all over the phone, and it's a short little probably 10-minute, 12-minute episode, and I usually don't do. I don't look at who's coming up at all. Angela does all of that and just like sets up a Google Calendar. So like when it's time to record, I'll be like, all right, I have this band talking to this person and this phone number, and I saw the name Zeffler, and I was like, that's just like. And then I like went to my Instagram and I looked at it and I was like, and then I said to Zach, I'm like, do you want to just like do a full fucking episode of Unsigned518 like and come over so like we can give it like the full treatment instead of just like a quick little one? But it was just funny because I wouldn't have noticed otherwise. Just the name, I was like, wait, I know.
I figured that'd be awesome. We're like way more into it. I was like, yeah, we'll get them over there and maybe let us play a song or two and everything.
Yeah.
We'll just feel it out.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome how that came out. Yeah. And like, I don't know if you, Matt, you've listened to any of the Unsigned Unwind episodes, but there's some really cool bands and really cool local scenes out there.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll talk somewhere down the road, but I'm going to we're talking about actively doing something, but I want to actively get networks between areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I would love to have, a bunch of fucking Plattsburgh bands and a bunch of Rochester bands and a bunch of like Massachusetts bands and like have everybody like know each other.
You create
and
those links,
yeah, and like you play shows here, I'll play shows there.
Start
so,
growing.
start growing, and it'll like take all these little pockets and just weave them together a little bit to
you make that network outside of the established network or whatnot and build up. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, you could make it fun too. Like I know JB Moses. He does like this rap battle thing. With the Buffalo and
Cap City.
Yeah.
We did a whole special episode on that of Unsigned518.
Mm-hmm.
Like had them. We had Jody and JB were up here on the couch, and then we piped in some of the guys from Buffalo through the phone.
Yep.
And Jody actually he conducted an interview on the phone because I'm like, you want to just do the interview with him? He's like, yeah, sure. And we did a whole episode on that. But that's the type of shit.
And I went to that event at the Whiskey Pickle, R.I.P.
Oh.
And it was fantastic. Like it was a really like creating that network, 4 hours away,
right?
And doing it over there, and getting other people involved too.
And I don't know, awesome. Like I went to, and I talked about it a lot, but like Gussapalooza, that thing up in Ontario, and like that's what that was. And I made so many connections of people that are 8 hours away.
Wow.
That like I'm now doing weekly. There's a podcast called it's Bad Club Media is the overarching name, but they do Bad Music Club is the name of the show, and it's basically this. They put a spotlight on unsigned bands and try to give them listeners and hype them up. And now they're doing a weekly segment on my weekend spotlight show, and I'm doing a weekly segment on their show where we're doing a band swap. They're gonna play introduce my listeners to one of their bands. I'm sending, and actually, the Sugarhold is this week's band.
Those guys are supposed to be pretty good, aren't they?
I've heard of them. I've heard of them.
Those guys, you sure about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
now that I've had you here, maybe not. But yeah, so like that's and again that's an 8-hour drive, and like they're not close, but they are close because if you're talking about a band that goes from local band to regional band,
right.
Toronto
that's that window
is fucking regional to us. You know what I mean?
Real.
Like, so if you have those networks, like it's just gonna make it tighter. But doing real life shit is what I want to see happen.
Doing the thing.
Doing the thing. So before we go, you did bring your instruments, and it was kind of fun that it was a spontaneous. You were just like, what? We brought guitars, and it was like, well, I mean, I have microphones. Like let's fuck. There I go with that mic stand again. And I was just like, let's do this. So, what song are you gonna play?
So we're going to play a song called "Back in the Ring." It's one of the new ones we're working on, and essentially probably going to call the album "Back in the Ring."
Nice.
I might fudge it up.
It's all good. It'll be very loose.
Very loose. Yeah, and it's cool. It's gonna do 2 acoustic guitars and an acoustic bass, which I love. I need to get an acoustic bass. Like,
Good to have.
yeah, very good to have. All right, well, cool. What was the song again?
Oh, it's called Back in the Ring.
Back in the Ring. I knew that. Well, let's listen to Back in the Ring live here in the Dazzle Den by Zeffler, and then we'll be right back to wrap it up.
In the ring and we're taking the swings and it's all going down, yeah, for one more round. Still standing tall and in spite of it all, holding on to the crowd and we won't fall down. Better time for the stars to align. I know full well that it's no choice but mine. Long ago and far away, I knew the dues I'd have to pay. Back in the ring and we're taking the swings and it's all going down, yeah, for one more round. Still standing tall and in spite of it all, holding on to the crowd and we won't fall down. Long ago and far away, I knew the dues I'd have to pay. Back in the ring and we're taking the swings and it's all going down, yeah, for one more round. Still standing tall and in spite of it all, holding on to the crowd and we won't fall down. Back in the ring and we're taking the swings and it's all going down, yeah, for one more round. Still standing tall and in spite of it all, holding on to the crowd and we won't fall down.
Back in the Ring live here in the Dazzle Den from Zeffler. And guys, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come up here and do this. I really appreciate it. And before we go, just want to give you each individually a chance to say what I refer to as your gratitudes. So Matt, we'll start with you.
Whew, so grateful for my health and everybody's health here. Yeah, being able to play music with friends. Nothing better than that, really. Shout out to my dog Shug, my family, friends, and yeah. Over to you, John.
Thank you, everybody in the 518. I hope you guys come on out and see us. It'll be definitely a good time. I really appreciate Zach and Matt. I met Zach at going into an Anthrax show about 10 years. Was it? Yeah, it was at least 10 years ago. And it's just been a great friendship, and we have a good time together. And hello to my wife Debbie and my cat Vivian. Rock on.
I'd just like to thank my family and friends and parents, everybody that's kind of been supportive on this journey, and thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thanks, Andy.
So they are Zeffler. I am Andy Scullin. This is Unsigned518. We'll see you on the road. Unsigned518 is produced and hosted by me, Andy Scullin. New episodes are available every week wherever you stream podcasts. If you'd like to help support the show, please like and subscribe wherever you are listening, or you could buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/unsigned518. If you would like to advertise on the show, send me an email at unsigned518@gmail.com. And to be a guest on the show, reach out to me through Instagram at unsigned518. Take care of one another, and I'll see you next week.